absolutely free. Now you have even more ways to access DeWittDailyNews.com. Whether you're at your desktop, laptop, tablet, iPhone, or smartphone, DeWittDailyNews.com is delivered to all those platforms. That's right. It's even there on your iPhone and smartphone. The same local news, weather, and sports that's on the full-size edition is on your iPhone and smartphone just by going to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you haven't tried it, why don't you? Go to Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more on your desktop, laptop, iPhone, or smartphone. DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 10 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. As we get to the news here on this Tuesday, we did see some snowfall in central Illinois yesterday. Some brief snowfall totals to pass along, courtesy of Cocoa Roz today. 0.3 of an inch just outside of Bloomington Normal in McLean County. In Fulton County, near the Canton area, about 0.5 inch fell. And north of Lewistown in Fulton County, about 0.3 of an inch of rainfall reported there. Around the Galesburg area in Knox County, about 1.5 inches of snowfall in the last 24 hours. As of right now, those are the only snowfall totals to pass along to you. But as always, you can catch those at CocoRoz.org. That's the Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. And now, like I've mentioned before, their new interactive map has lots of new features. And you can check out snow depth and many more features related to the snowfall of the last several days, including that snow that we got leading up to the Christmas holiday. So again, CocoRoz.org is where you can go for all that information. All right, let's get to the news. It's 11 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. The Clinton High School Board of Education held a Truth in Taxation hearing at last week's Board of Education meeting. Clinton School Superintendent Kurt Nettles on the WHOW morning show on Wednesday last week told us the district tax rate will not increase in 2023, but property values have increased, which will cause some to pay higher property taxes next year.
No, your school district tax rate will stay exactly the same as it's been really since I've been here. It's fluctuated a few pennies here and there. But your school district tax rate is the lowest around. It's $3.60. Many other school districts are well over $5. Somewhere north of here, they're even up to $6. So our tax rate is staying the same. But what everybody should understand is that your property values have gone up. If you pay more property tax this coming year, it's not because we raised the tax rate. It's just your property values went up.
The Truth in Taxation hearing was held because the school district's tax levy is increasing by more than 5%. Nettles says this was due to the increase in the wealth of property within the school district.
Truth in Taxation hearing, our levy, the amount that we request, had to increase more than 5%. So you do a truth in taxation hearing. But that's really only because the wealth of property, which includes the power plant and the commercial industry stuff, all has gone up so much.
Some taxpayers may think that the school district should lower the levy to accommodate for the increase in property values, but Nettles points out this is not possible due to regular expenses and costs associated going up with inflation.
Well, we can't lower our levy. You know, we still have expenses. The board still has a plan for finance where they want that, which we've talked about in the past. They want that year's worth of money in the bank, just in case. And to do that and to pay for all the increases we have, inflation hits everybody. Sure. Everybody's wages go up and those kinds of things. So can't just lower the levy. So we're staying pretty much status quo, but since the tax base has increased, that's why you have to have that hearing. But we did post that in the newspaper. Mr. Goebel talked about it at length at the November board meeting.
Nettles is not anticipating a large excess of money coming into the school district with the property value increases. He says any money the board does find in excess will be earmarked for their facilities planning.
So it's not going to be a huge excess of dollars, but it will be some excess. So everything goes into its own fund, and you can't cross over those funds. So when we're talking about facilities, so we have an operations and maintenance fund, which we can use that money toward facilities. There's a health, life, safety fund, which we can use that money toward facilities things, certain facilities things. And so we will begin using some of that money. So some of the money that we feel is in excess of the board's financial plan, we'll start using that on the facilities plan.
Nettles reminds the Clinton School District has a lower tax rate than most of the surrounding area school districts. Farmer City Manager Sue McLaughlin is celebrating a very successful year in the small DeWitt County community. As we put a bow on the year, McLaughlin recently highlighted for the Farmer City Council all the things they've done in 2022. She highlights the $1.2 million investments in infrastructure. Some of those were seen and some unseen.
Yeah, we had a good year. You know, a lot of people, I think there was a lot of things that went on that were unseen, but we had some good things. We spent over $1.2 million this past year on infrastructure. Some of the stuff people might have seen was some repaving on John Street and Green and Lincoln. We also did some water and sewer work that wasn't seen at the plants, the treatment plants. Some sand filter work. We got a grant from Congressman Rodney Davis, and we used ARPA money. Some people were asking, what did you do with your ARPA money? Well, we received over $200,000 in ARPA money, and we repaired one of our tertiary filters at the wastewater treatment plant. It's not sexy, but it's needed. It's funny because it hadn't been working for years, and we were close to being out of IEPA compliance. It's the last step in the treatment of solids at the wastewater treatment plant. And so this will help our plant be more efficient and process everything correctly.
The Farmer City Gun Range building has undergone some changes, and McLaughlin indicates they hope to eventually open it up to other law enforcement agencies in Illinois.
Oh, and our gun range building, which will be open to the public in the future. We finished the interior of that. As a reminder, our building trades class at the high school helped build that, and it's turning into quite a nice building. Well, we have a gun range out there at the wastewater treatment plant that the police use for their training, and eventually one of the goals of the council is to open that up to other law enforcement agencies to use, and then eventually allow recreational use. So it's kind of a multi-step process, and as soon as that building's ready, I think we're going to reach out to other law enforcement agencies to see if they're interested in using it. There's not very many around. Agencies have difficulty finding ranges to practice on.
Park investments were a big theme in Farmer City this year. McLaughlin highlights the nearly $250,000 improvements to the Prairie Ridge Playground, among other improvements there.
We also spent almost $250,000 on our new playground, Prairie Ridge. And we're going to finish the parking lot next year. And I guess there's been talk about needing bathrooms out there. So, you know, I don't know that we'll do permanent, but at least maybe next year we'll do porta potties. But that playground's turned out well. Everybody seems to like it. And I think purchased a poured surface. It's kind of like that spongy, surface instead of mulch or pebbles. And that seems to be a big hit. You know, they like that. It's a lot cleaner and less maintenance, that's for sure.
A couple of sidewalk master plans were executed in 2022. McLaughlin explains that master plan revealed the community's desire to connect Business 54 to the downtown area.
We did finish 2 master plans, a sidewalk master plan and a water sewer master plan that's going to help guide us on what we need to do and when and how to find the financing. We got a new police car. We got a new emergency siren on the west side of town. You know, one of the exciting things that came out of that sidewalk master plan is, and we knew this beforehand, but there was a lot of comment and interest in a sidewalk along Route 54 that would connect Casey's and Dollar General to downtown Main Street. And so we are in the process of getting that engineered. and applying for a grant next year. So
Nice.
that's exciting. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people will like that.
Ahead in 2023, there will be elections for the Farmer City Council. McLaughlin points out the levy held steady in 2022, and the budget process starts just after the first of the year. We come up on 20 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Tuesday. Again, we stream to Facebook and YouTube this morning, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton, and news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Plenty more coming your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.
Are you a friend of agriculture? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We're giving a $500 Friends of Ag discount to anyone that orders a new Chevrolet or Buick to be built just for you this month. Are you a friend of ag? You are if you're a member of any ag organization, employed by any ag-related business, including research, inputs, manufacturing, sales, and marketing, and of course, ag education. Come in, order yours today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Again, 20 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Again, we stream to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton, and the morning show brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. After cold, snow, and wind for much of Illinois in this last week, things should improve this week.
If you can't stand the cold, just wait. I think the very last few days of this year, going into 2023, we're going to get an extended Pacific jet stream that delivers more mild air across the country. It's not dry, but it's at least not brutally cold. So this will be a short duration event in terms of keeping that cold air around.
That's meteorologist Eric Snodgrass. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources is issuing some snowmobile safety reminders. Hundreds of snowmobiles are registered in Illinois, and the state has nearly 2,500 miles of snowmobile trails. Newbies are urged to take a safety course, while even the most seasoned riders should keep these safety tips in mind, says DNR spokesperson Jayette Bolinsky.
Never consume alcohol or drugs before or during a ride. Wear sensible, protective clothing designed for snowmobiling, including a full-size helmet, goggles, or a face shield. Avoid wearing long scarves, which can get caught in moving parts of a snowmobile. Become familiar with the terrain you're planning to ride, and be aware of trails that may be closed. Avoid riding on the ice if you're unfamiliar with the body of water or the thickness of the ice. Drowning is one cause of snowmobile fatalities.
As mentioned, Bolinsky recommends becoming familiar with the terrain you're planning to ride and aware of trails that may be closed. The Illinois Food, Farmers Market, and Specialty Crop Conference is set for next month in Springfield. Illinois Farm Bureau's Ragella Scavuzzo is helping promote the event. The conference is January 11th through the 13th. Register at specialtygrowers.org. Illinois is losing a combined 20 years on the House U.S. Ag Committee as Sherry Bustos and Rodney Davis leave Congress. In 2022, for Bustos, a 2023 Farm Bill is all about protecting crop insurance.
Number one, crop insurance. I have chaired a subcommittee on the House Agriculture Committee this past term, and we traveled all around the nation meeting with hundreds of family farmers with one question that we threw out there, which is, what do you want to see in the 2023 Farm Bill? And especially in the Midwest, it's all around crop insurance. When you go out west, it's all around water. But having that strong safety net, especially in a time in our world history that the weather is so unpredictable. And so I would say if there's one item that we want to make sure comes out the other end in a good place, it would be our safety net for our family farmers.
So serving on the U.S. House Ag Committee for a decade, what has that meant to you?
Well, it's personal, and it is a reflection of the congressional district that I've represented for the last decade. We have 9,600 family farms in our congressional district in central and western and northern Illinois. I come from, my grandfather was a hog farmer. My aunt and uncles are dairy farmers. We have my cousins raise Angus. They all grow corn and beans. So it is not only my family's background, but it is also very important to this congressional district. On top of having all those family farms, we also, agriculture is our number one economic driver, not just in our congressional district, but also in the state of Illinois. And so I was proud to get appointed to the Ag Committee as soon as I was sworn in my very first term, and I'm proud that I was able to stay on that. I actually had to seek special permission to stay on it when I was able to get appointed to the Appropriations Committee, which is typically, if you serve on that committee, because it is considered the most powerful committee in Congress, that you don't typically get to serve on another committee. But I asked the speaker for special permission to be able to stay on it, and I'm very glad that I was able to, and very glad that I worked my way up to being able to chair a subcommittee.
The outgoing Congressman Davis wants choices maintained within risk management programs.
Well, I want to make sure that they continue the progress that I helped craft in the last two farm bills. Remember, to understand where we are when it comes to ag policy today, you have to look back at where we were 10 years ago when I got there. But 10 years ago, we were dealing with extensions of the current farm bill. We didn't have choices between risk management programs like ARC and PLC. We didn't have the substantial investments in ag research that we have now. And I was able to ensure that in the Farm Bill of 2014, that farmers were able to choose between the risk management programs so that they could figure out which one worked best for them and their operation. So they got to choose between ARC and PLC. The last Farm Bill, I made sure they could choose every year. Couple that with standing strong to protect our farmers' access to the public-private partnership that we call crop insurance. That's pre-planned disaster assistance that saves taxpayers billions of dollars every time we have an ag disaster in this country. So I'm pretty proud of my record on the Ag Committee. I served 2 terms as a subcommittee chair, and I certainly hope that they keep the successful programs that I've helped lay out.
Both Congressman Davis and Congresswoman Bustos were elected to Congress in 2012. What are some of the funding measures for the USDA under the fiscal year 23 omnibus budget passed by both the Senate and House prior to the holiday recess? Rod Bain tells us. News time is 29 minutes after the hour here on this Tuesday. Coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A big day for the Clinton Maroons boys and girls basketball teams at day one of the Monticello Holiday Hoopla basketball tournament yesterday. Recaps of the 4 combined games coming your way next in sports.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Western New York State dealing with the aftermath of one of the most powerful winter storms to ever hit the region. It dumped up to 4 feet of snow in some areas, blamed for at least 28 deaths. The city of Buffalo among areas hard hit by the storm. The cleanup well underway now, but it's going to be a while before things get back to normal. And the storm took a heavy toll on travel along the holiday period. Southwest Airlines among carriers hardest hit by the severe weather. It is back to work later today for traders on Wall Street. Coming off the holiday, stock futures suggest a higher open. Right now, the Dow futures are up 171 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 15, and the S&P futures better by 16 points. More details at srnnews.com.
With SRN Sports, I'm Jim Bartow. Austin Eckler scored on 2 one-yard runs, and the Los Angeles Chargers clinched their first playoff berth since 2018, intercepting Indianapolis quarterback Nick Foles 3 times to beat the overmatched Colts 20-3. Justin Herbert threw for 235 yards, and Cameron Dicker made 2 short field goals for the Chargers, who won their 3rd straight. Los Angeles won on the road on Monday night for the first time in more than a decade. The Denver Broncos have fired coach Nathaniel Hackett after 15 games. Players were told during a team meeting Monday that senior assistant coach Jerry Rosberg will serve as interim head coach. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has returned to the NFL's concussion protocol. It's the 2nd time this season that Tua has been there. Teddy Bridgewater is expected to get most of the first-team reps in practice this week. This is SRN Sports. The NFL has suspended for 1 game Broncos linebacker Randy Gregory and Rams offensive lineman Ode Obushi for exchanging punches following their game on Sunday. Mike White has been cleared by doctors and will start at quarterback on Sunday in Seattle. White missed the Jets' past 2 games while dealing with broken ribs. Zach Wilson will return to being the number 3 quarterback, and Joe Flacco will serve as White's backup. Purdue remains atop the Associated Press men's college basketball poll for a 3rd straight week. The week also included preseason number 1 North Carolina returning to the rankings at number 25, and New Mexico cracking the poll for the first time in 8 years. Unbeaten Connecticut sits at number 2. Houston, Kansas, and Arizona round out the top 5. And the United States will permit Major League Baseball players from Cuba to represent their home country in the World Baseball Classic next year. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Juniors Dawson Graves and Brooks Kluber led the Clinton Maroons to its first 2 games to victory in its first 2 games of the Monticello Holiday Hoopla basketball tournament from the Seaver Center at Monticello High School. Monday, the Maroons toppled Ridgeview in the opener 68-36. Monday morning, led by Graves 29 points, the junior grabbed 6 boards. Kluber added 13 points and a team-high 8 rebounds. Clinton's defense turned 28 Mustangs turnovers into 35 points and had 46 points at the points in the paint, that is. The Maroons held just a 37-33 edge on the boards, but turned 18 offensive rebounds into 18 points. Cam Kelly led Ridgeview with 19. Cale Hoffman grabbed a game-high 10 rebounds. Ridgeview lost its 2nd game of the night to Monticello. In the nightcap for Clinton, Kluber scored a game-high 20 points as Clinton held off Oakwood 57-49. Clinton, as a team, had more assists than turnovers, despite shooting just 39% from the floor. Despite shooting 48% from the floor, Oakwood struggled from distance, and 15 turnovers resulted in 18 points for the Maroons. Junior Mason Walker added 16 points. Graves had a quiet second game, finishing with 9 points and 7 rebounds. Oakwood drops to 0-2 in pool play of the Hoopla after its tournament opening loss to Monticello. Clinton improves to 12-1 overall and can win its way to the tournament title game with a win over Monticello this afternoon. Game time today is 3:30 p.m. from the Seaver Center. Hear all the action on WHOW, its online digital platforms, as well as on 95.9 FM WEZC and at DeWittDailyNews.com. Troy Welter and Will Ross helped carry Monticello to a pair of victories in day one action from the Monticello Holiday Hoopla Boys Basketball Tournament at the Seaver Center at Monticello High School Monday. Welter went for a team-high 15 points in the tournament opening 59-53 win over Oakwood Monday morning. Tyler Blythe scored 15 points. Drew Shepard scored 8 with 6 boards and 3 assists. The Sages played efficient offense, dishing out 15 assists to 12 turnovers. Monticello turned 11 offensive rebounds into 11 points and 16 Comets turnovers into 15 points. Oakwood lost its second game of pool play to Clinton. In the nightcap, Ross recorded his first career double-double with 12 points and 10 rebounds, leading Monticello over Ridgeview 51-42. Shepard contributed 11 points as Monticello dominated in the paint and turned 14 Mustangs turnovers into 18 points and used 13 offensive rebounds to turn into 17 second chance points. Monticello again used strong ball control in the nightcap with 14 assists on 9 turnovers and shot 47%, moving to 7-4 overall and 2-0 in pool play. The Sages can play for its second straight Hoopla championship with a win this afternoon over Clinton. Hear all the action starting at 3:30 on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, as well as on WHOW and its many digital online platforms. The Clinton Lady Maroons used balanced scoring to run away with the first 2 games at the Monticello Holiday Hoopla Tournament in high school girls basketball action from Miller Gym at Monticello High School. Clara Dempsey scored 20 points in a 57-27 tournament opening win Monday morning over Ridgeview. Regan Filkin chipped in with 10 points. The Lady Maroons had 13 steals and dished out 7 assists to 6 turnovers. Heidi Humble and Michaela Keppel scored 8 points apiece for Clinton. Ridgeview beat Monticello Monday night. In the nightcap, the Lady Maroons raced by Stark County 55-35. Dempsey led the way again for Clinton with 21 points. Filkin added 11, while Avery Smith contributed 9 points. Keppel added 8 more for Clinton in the nightcap. The Lady Maroons moved to 2-0 in pool play, and a win this afternoon punches its ticket to the tournament championship Wednesday. They take on Monticello this afternoon at 2 p.m. Hear the action on WHOW, its many online digital platforms, as well as on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Monticello dropped the first 2 games of its Holiday Hoopla action from Monticello High School Monday in high school girls basketball action from Miller Gym. A slow second half doomed Monticello as they lost the opener 35-34 to Stark County, leading 25-11 at the intermission. The scores basically flipped in the second half. Maya High had a double-double with 12 points and 11 rebounds. 31 turnovers did not help the struggling offense for Monticello, as well as the absence of leading scorer Megan Allen. Kylie Frisbee scored 14 to lead Stark County. Lindley Johnson contributed 6 points. Stark County lost to Clinton in its second game of the tournament. The nightcap did not provide much new life for Monticello as they fell 27-21 to Ridgeview in the nightcap of the first day of Holiday Hoopla action. No one reached double figures in the low-scoring contest Jack Maxey led the way with 7 points and 10 rebounds. Monticello again committed 27 turnovers. Pearl Glaze scored 6 for Monticello. Ridgeview was led by Brindley Stevens, 11 points. The Lady Mustangs lost its first game of the tournament to Clinton. Monticello will look to avoid an 0-3 pool play mark this afternoon when they take on Clinton. Game time is 2 p.m. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC, as well as at DeWittDailyNews.com and on WHOW and its many online digital platforms. Devin Porter Jr. scored a season-high 36 points, and the Houston Rockets used a 17-1 run in the third quarter to beat the Chicago Bulls 133-118 Monday night, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Alperen Sengun scored 25 points. Jalen Green had 24 for Houston, which scored the first 10 points of the game, but blew an 18-point lead before its third quarter spurt. DeMar DeRozan scored 31 for the Bulls, who won their previous 3 games. DeRozan passed George Gervin for 44th place on the career scoring list with 20,727 points. After taking their first lead on a three-pointer by Zach LaVine with 30 seconds left in the second quarter, the Bulls surged to a 74-67 advantage early in the third before the Rockets regrouped. Chicago cut the deficit to 109-100 early in the fourth quarter, but Porter countered with 2 consecutive three-pointers, and the Rockets made 50 of 90 shots, scoring 60 points in the paint and out-rebounded the Bulls 56-43. It marked the first time in 5 games DeRozan, LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic had failed to score at least 20 points apiece. LaVine finished with 22, but Vucevic had just 10. LaVine, who missed his first 5 shots and was assessed a technical foul with 2:18 left in the first quarter, helped spark a late second quarter rally. Kobe White stole a pass, and his behind-the-back dribble near the sideline at midcourt enabled him to spot LaVine for a dunk that closed the deficit to 61-59. Following a turnover, LaVine sank a 3 to put the Bulls in front. Green countered with a 3, but Goran Dragic drained a 3 at the buzzer to cap a 39-point second quarter that gave the Bulls a 65-64 edge. At halftime, the Rockets scored the first 10 points, and Sengun sparked Houston to a 23-5 lead thanks to his 4-for-4 shooting and 11 points in less than 5 minutes into the game. They scored 22 of their 36 points in the paint in the first quarter. Houston guard Eric Gordon returned after missing 5 games because of a bruised left thumb and scored 12 points. Sengun grabbed 11 rebounds and marked his 10th double-double of the season. He scored 20 points or more for the 6th time. Bulls guard Alex Caruso missed his 3rd consecutive game despite passing all concussion protocols. The problem, according to Coach Billy Donovan, is Caruso's right shoulder sprain that has prevented him from performing contact drills on the court. Javonte Green missed his 5th consecutive game after going through pregame workouts with right knee soreness. Derrick Jones Jr. Is dealing with a left ankle sprain and missed his 3rd straight game. The Bulls will host the Bucks on Wednesday. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Mainly sunny skies and calm today with highs around 28. Southerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 23 tonight. Mainly sunny tomorrow, 44. High of 55 Thursday under cloudy